All right. What's up, guys? So, this is going to be a chill stream. Just going to be watching. We're going to be looking at the charts, kind of looking at different trades that presented themselves throughout the week. And I'm just going to be looking around and looking at whatever I see. Uh, might not talk that much. Probably just going to be listening to music. You guys know the drill. You know, when I backtest, no point in not streaming it, right? So I will be streaming it and just gonna be looking at whatever I see and whatever I can learn from the market from this week. So with that, I'm gonna jump into the charts. I could turn that on, but it actually doesn't look too bad with just the lighting from my computer. So I actually don't think I need to. So first thing I was just looking at and I was thinking about is you actually have this. What is this? What even is this? Uh, what is. Oh, you can't see my screen. What is this? It's not even letting me see the name of the indicator. What the heck? Okay, let's go on now. So, first thing I wanted to look at is this, okay? I find this to be kind of fascinating. Once again, you guys know the drill. This is a Reaper gap because it's a high, low, high, high, lower, low. It's a gap in premium of this leg from here to here, right? Hey, what up, Slimy? How's it going? You know the drill with these weekend back tests. We're just kind of looking at whatever we see, whatever we can learn from the market, and honestly, I'm just chilling, listening to music. Feel free to watch for as little or as long as you want, right? But I'm just marking out whatever I see. First thing I'm looking at is we have a high, low, high, low, higher high, lower low. So what is this? This move down is a breaker, right? You go in premium of that breaker, find imbalance, or find like, this is what I would call an implied gap. This is not the official ICT implied gap, but it's it's my version of the way I see the market, and I think it's a lot more precise than ICT's version. I was actually gonna make a video about implied gaps. I still haven't, but it's actually really important. So I do think I will, maybe this week. ICT's version is still like a really good version. It's just I like my version of it better because I think the market respects it. It's more true to the way the market will interact with it. Okay, anyway, so we have this Reaper imbalance. So first things first, I want to screenshot this. Bet slime. Heck yeah. Let's get out the folder. So what day was this? This is on Thursday. I don't have folders for most of these days, honestly. I guess I should probably turn this lighting on. Okay, May 7th. Wait, no, this was May 8th. Right? No, May 7th. So yeah, first things first, just gonna mark out a screenshot of the Reaper gap. Dude, every day, just keep improving, keep learning, and it just compounds. It does. It really does. Regardless of what anyone else says. So back to the screen. So I would drop down to a 1 minute. We could actually go to a even lower time frame. Let's see if we had any SMT. Look at that high right there. 1240. So you have this key level. I kind of want to get out SB Pro, and I want to start including absorption of trapped whales into my trading a lot more, because I think that's what the best traders are doing, and you can clearly see that's the case with like someone like FA, who is just that's his main edge is finding these trapped whales. And honestly, I really do think that there's just a ton of value to fading trapped whales. So I'm gonna try and incorporate that in my trading more often, because I already know how to trade with the charts themselves. So now what happens when I include order flow on top of a high level understanding of ICT trading? You get really, really precise trading, right? I almost wonder, we probably want to line this with the 15-second. I'm not in love with anything in this section of price, I guess. But we obviously reject that. I mean, maybe you could mark this out and take this. I don't know how much of a fan I am of this, but you know what? I'm going to mark it out. Yeah, so then you have 4 projections, and then bang, here you go. Interestingly, we go down back to this, which is likely some kind of earnings or after hours stuff. So I would consider this a data low. Just keep showing up, just keep learning. Never stop. Anyway, I kind of like that because it's got internal sweep, and then it's just like a giant range, and we should run back to the other side. Like, imagine pairing this with absorption of a whale, right? Okay. 1605, Reaper Abyss, Reaper aligned with a 15-second change in state. All right. Okay. Let's look at something else. I guess let's look at the longs at 9 a.m. on Thursday. Wow. There's so much opportunity on every day, like right around 10 a.m. There's so much opportunity. You have to really, really be paying attention. Here you go. Here's at least a hand of FA, probably seal of FA. That, wow, and then right at 9:59. Where's New Day opening gaps? Huh. Why are they all the way down there? Check to see if that's a precision swing point. Not with ES. I love backtesting. The Friday Cantina kill shot was beautiful as well. Yeah, it's just a pin bar, but it's still really nice. There's no precision swing point, but that doesn't matter. So once again, why is this a breaker? Well, you don't have it as a higher high yet, but you can still use it as a Reaper gap. So we have a low, high, lower, low, and then we're coming up the right side of the curve. We come back down, utilize the imbalance and discount of that series of up close candles there, and we get a pin bar off of it. So we can take this pin bar on the close, bang, and I call this hand of FA. Basically, we're getting continuation on the right-hand side of the buy model, right? Beautiful the way we interact with it as well. Wow, every time I backtest, it's just like, I don't know, it reminds you you can't ever give up with this. Like, it's just like, it's just a matter of time. Like, it is. But it's so hard to catch these live. Beautiful. It's like right before 7 projections. That's the first retracement. I almost wonder if it's better to project out from there to there. That's an interesting thought. That it's kind of better to mark out from there to there. Yeah, because I'm sure there are some people that would rather just get in on the wick. So, honestly, that's valid. Like, if you want to take that, but only enter if we retest the wick instead. So, like, yeah, like I said, like, if you want to enter on that, but enter on a retest of the wick, I mean, how do I normally mark it out when it's like a entry on a retest? I guess you could just do a dot. I could do a dotted line. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah, so from now on, if I take a trade that's a pin bar, I can enter on a retest of the wick. cool. So here we have hand of FA right at 10. Hey, what up, SNS? How's it going, bro? We're just having a chill backtesting session. So this right here is hand of FA. We're lining a Reaper gap with a 1 minute pin bar. And you can actually see that we can enter on a retest of the wick and get slightly better RR with better projections. So, but yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. I really want to start incorporating fading whales. I really want to start incorporating fading trapped whales. Like, here's one at 6, so 7-12. Are you listening to music? Yeah, I'm just listening to my own music. Which one? You want to know what song I'm listening to? I just listen to a lot of chill stuff. Oh, yeah, the grind keeps going. The grind keeps going. What do you mean by which one? Okay. Yo, this outside bar is really high probability. That's another really good trade. So we could take a look at the outside bar. We could take a look at. I really want to look at this whale that was trapped at. Looks like 7-12. I don't know what. This is an hour off. So what time would this be? Oh, this is the next day. May 8th. Okay, this is over here. Okay. Actually, I don't know if there is anything right there. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, next let's look at this trade. I think this trade is really beautiful. So we have 730. I would love to see if we had a trapped whale. Let's rewind this to the day prior. Oh wow, the heat map really makes it a lot slower. I'm gonna turn off the heat map. That that helps. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the day prior. This is what I want to see. Okay. Oh yeah. Right? This is what are you backtesting? I'm just backtesting different trades you could have taken throughout the week. So yeah, there's a trapped whale here. Two more trapped whales here. These guys were on side with the market. So there you go. You got your true session open. That got souped right there. Then you can go look and see. Where's midnight? Midnight's within here. So I think we already took midnight. That is so fascinating. Yeah, we already souped midnight. Do we have S&T with this? I kind of want to get a separate screen up right now. That's just gonna show me ES and YM at any given time. So let's get this out. Okay, there's ES, there's YM. Okay. So going back to Thursday in the pre-market. Yeah, so we're looking at the 730 low and the 948 low. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's SMT, one of the biggest SMTs. We actually had SMT with London lows as well. So you have London SMT. Then you have 90-minute SMT with this low. Wait, that's not London SMT at all. Wait. Oh, that actually kind of complicates things. I'm just gonna have it marked out like this. And when you backtest, it makes it look so easy, but in the live markets, that is not the case. But I have a feeling every time that you trade, every time you backtest, you get a little better at, well, seeing it live. Because it repeats every day, like this kind of stuff. And then this outside bar on the 30-second is really, really beautiful. So this is your classic Khufu Stat Classic that I discovered. Wow. It's like Yeah, it seems like this was more of a trade that used equilibrium. Yeah. I wonder if there was a trap whale there. There was really only this whale that was trapped, the 70 con whale. The strange thing about it is there's actually bigger whales that come in and enter market orders after. But if you look at Delta, this actually it actually makes a lot of sense when you look at Delta. Because we have selling, even more selling, and then after they're all taken out, then the big whales come in after this guy's is smoked here. So we have a medium-sized whale that's liquidated, and then bigger whales come in and eat them up. Bigger whale, bigger whale. After this and this, just a ton of liquidations. So sometimes if you see bigger whales come in after a smaller whale was just liquidated, that can actually just be a good sign, honestly. I really like the outside bar there. We even have the low time frame true open. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I really like this outside bar. Then I project this out. I wonder if there's a better way to project this out. Maybe Maybe with that candle low. Yeah, I like that better. Isn't it interesting how like the best projections are the most accurate ones are always going to be based off of the best way to project out the trade. It's always based off the best way to take the trade. So if, for instance, like I could take this trade with stop loss here and project out this from here to here, but I don't get very accurate projections. I guess 7 projections does hit, but as far as 4 projections, it's not that accurate. Versus if I project it out like this, it's a little more accurate. You have 4 projections, 7 projections, and then 8 projections. Everything lines up so much better, and it's because this is a better way to project this out. Isn't that fascinating? That if you want to get the best projections, you have to take it exactly as the best traders are taking the trade. This is the most efficient way to take the trade. Taking it like this, it's less accurate because it's not as correct. So yeah, like you could mark it out the outside bar the basic way, which is like this, but marking it out with this low gives better projections. Imagine one day in the future, you're just watching the charts and then hit one banger trade like this for the day. Get all off at 4 projections. You go enjoy your day at the beach. That right there, guys. That's exciting. It's a beautiful outside bar. $952.30. There you go. I know how we could mark this out more cleanly. Let's make this a solid line. Now isn't that interesting? That makes this really, really nice. Do you guys see how the way I'm notating stuff just evolves, right? Dude, isn't it so cool though? Like, if you take a trade exactly according to how the best traders are taking it, you're going to get the most accurate projections. Is that not the most obvious evidence that smart money runs the market? Like why when I projected out with the most accurate stop loss and entry, why is it then that I get the most accurate projections? It's almost as if it's almost as if smart money is taking it, right? Because they are. I mean, like, I hope you guys see what I see here. This, like, the more accurate you place your stop loss in TP and project it out, the more accurate your projections are going to be. If smart money didn't run these markets, that would not be possible, right? But that is the case. Thanks, Slimy. I appreciate it. I might take a little break, guys, and I'll come back. $9.52.30 outside bar. 30-second, number 3. Yep, tween 2 and 2.5, that silver bullet. 2 and 2.5? What's the 2 and 2.5? Yep, between 2 and 2.5. Oh, between 2 and 2.5. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a silver bullet. Let's go look at it. So first gap after 10. So I guess this is your silver bullet gap? I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't really like that much. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we use this gap, but this gap is not formed after 10. This is formed at 9:50, 9:55. We end up. I remember this happening live actually. So this was interesting. We end up inversing the first presented for value gap. So this, I believe, the first presented for value gap is. Well, this is getting kind of complicated because honestly, you could consider this the first presented for value gap too, because a volume balance and a low together, that is still technically like a fair value gap, because a volume balance if there's a volume balance, it negates the wick. So technically this is the first presented for value gap, but also, like, if you look at it from traditional, what is a fair value gap pattern, right? This would be the first presented for value gap. So we'll look at both, okay? We'll see how the market interacts with both, because I'm curious if we dig into them and then change and stay up off of them, and how the market provides opportunities there. First presentation is that first FVG after liquidity raid. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying is theoretically, if you include the volume balance, you can consider this an imbalance as well. But yeah, I would use this one as the first presented for value gap, because that one's not that obvious. Yeah. So I would use this one. And that's right. I take this? I took this on one of my accounts. So basically what happened is we have the first presented for value gap. This is beautiful, by the way. Yeah, you could, like, theoretically, you could make the argument that that's the first presented for value gap, but it's just not nearly as obvious as this one. I don't know. You could use either, but I'm using this one, okay? And so we get this, and I took this live. This was so cool, right? So basically, this right here, that's CISD. That's valid CISD. I know that you might think that it's not, because there's no liquidity sweep and all that stuff or whatever. But at the end of the day, CISD is just an order block. So you can get CISDs like this on the right-hand side of the curve. And if you have conviction, right, it's all about conviction and drawn liquidity and understanding the higher time frame. That's the key, right? If you have conviction, you get this up close candle above this, and especially by just observing the way the market interacts with it, right? Dig into it, close above, bang. So this is first strike right here. So you have a 5-second change in state of delivery, which is an order block. It's actually a propulsion block, but that's kind of besides the point, because it's an OB and then a PB, right? Order block, propulsion block, that's besides the point. The key is just observing, like, how does the market really interact with this first presented for value gap? Now, the hard thing is you kind of have to interpret all this in like seconds, but assuming you can do that, you could clearly see that, all right, the market digs into it, which is digging into this, which is a propulsion block, backfills the first presented for value gap, closes above, we get change in state. I would take this up 4 projections. Let's see how accurate that is. Ooh, would you look at that? And this is what was just trying to get at is if you take trades exactly how they're supposed to be taken, from entry to stop loss, you're going to get the most accurate projections. Yep, if you want for that people hardly get DD. Exactly. So this is what I was trying to get at is if you take trades exactly how the market offers and provides them to you, and you take them in the most accurate way you're supposed to, which in this case would be project out the order block, which is actually a propulsion block, but that's besides the point. Project it out exactly as you're supposed to, okay? And order block high, order block low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Wow. It's almost like the market is rewarding you for taking the trade as it's supposed to be taken. Because everyone that's smart money is taking it exactly like this. The market rewards taking trades as they're supposed to be done. So, just same thing as that trade from before. Like, the more accurately you project out your TP and stop loss, the more accurately the projections are going to line up with the correct places to take profit. It's so cool, huh? It really is. So then you end up with a really, really nice 4 projections. Interestingly, you have a retest of this, which arguably could be a re-entry depending on your conviction. And then at that point, exactly. And then at that point, it's no longer a 4 projection target, right? Now the market intends to go 7 projections. Actually, first it went 6, and then it went 7, then 8, right? And I took this one live, but I did not take it in the best way I could have taken it, which the best way I could have taken it would have been basically just on this retest or on this close and then targeting 4 projections. That's the best way I could have taken it here. Boom. With stop loss at the bottom of the order block. Once again, the best way to if you project it out in the best way from the best place to put your take profit and stop loss and your entry and stop loss, you're going to get the most accurate take profits. Not to mention all-time highs. I know, right? So that's the crazy thing is if you can just get in and then you know, this is one of the most beautiful ways to enter the market is these low time frame change in states off of first presented for value gaps, reaper gaps, going up the other side of the curve, because a lot of time you'll have no drawdown, and then the market will continue towards the opposing liquidity pools. I mean, look at that, right? And it's just waiting for this signature in price where the market perfectly interacts with it and then accelerates off of it. I mean, interestingly, this is kind of cool. I almost wonder if the market soups into the 1/8 of the propulsion block. Almost. Yeah, not even 1/8. Not even 1/8 of the way. That's precise. And so it's like, think about the market as kind of like a crime scene, right? It's a crime scene. Not a literally crime, but when you do analysis as a detective, if someone commits a I'll just say it, commits a murder with a specific weapon, right? If someone uses a hammer, a chainsaw, whatever, you're going to have the remnants of what that weapon was, right? You're going to be able to see exactly, like the detectives can piece together the specific elements of what happened in the murder, right? The same is true with the market. We can see how smart money executed their trade by simply digging into the evidence and the remnants of what happened. you can't you can't you can't put your hand on something in one of these crime cases without leaving a fingerprint, right? The market is the same way. There's going to be fingerprints all over it. And that's the reality of it. Look at that. Bang. Let's go ahead and save that. I almost wonder if there was a whale that got caught. There actually was. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. So this, we actually want to include the trapped whale that got caught here. There was a whale of 78 contracts that got caught right here. They shorted right here. So this, we want to include this, and I'll show you on my other screen as well. Yeah, so there's a trapped whale here, and then even two more that get trapped here and here. So trapped whale that market sells and then just gets absolutely liquidated up at those highs. So this is the benefit of using these trapped whales as a confluence. Incredible. Let's go ahead and screenshot that. And that's another thing that's important to note. Yeah, I'll explain myself in a second. Hang on. 9:54:30. First strike. 1 minute, 5 second. So that's another thing that's here. I need to charge my AirPods. I low-key forgot my train of thought. But it's okay. Yeah. You know what's so cool about this, though, is you have probably somewhere in here that there's that Reaper gap overlapped with this. So I don't know if I like this one that much, but hey, you know, maybe this is valid for some people. I don't know. Maybe let's just mark it out, right? You know, I think it's fine. So let's do the same exact thing. They reposition themselves on the retest of that order block. Once again, I could project that like this, or I could project that like that. All of a sudden, wow, the projections are more precise because I projected it out in the best way, which was from this low. So if I project that from that low, more precise projections. More precise projections. Whoo! And lines up with that high. Okay? You see that? Little hints that the market it gives you by going into the evidence and digging and seeing what actually happened. But most people will never do that. And so then 7 projections is also the specific spot that we go. incredible. Isn't it just cool? This is high level trading right here. Beautiful. Once again, I kind of want to see if there's a trapped well. Not exactly. There was a ton. Wow. There's a ton of liquidations here. So that could mean something. Right? We had negative 197 delta within this leg down. So that actually, I would actually say that's more important than the whale. Is there's negative 197 delta. When PD arrays line with deviations, it gives us conviction. Exactly. Exactly. So I kind of I need to make a emoji for when it's not a whale but delta. Maybe like, let me ask Grok. I'm gonna ask AI what to call it, what emoji to use. I know this is pointless, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I don't know, the more better ways that I notate stuff, it just improves my trading. So. But we could have it be a bot. Mousetrap. It's saying use a bull or a bear. I could just use a bear. Yeah, that actually works. I could just use a bear. I could just use a bear. Ah. Yeah, I like the bear. So if it's trapped shorts, then it's gonna be a bear emoji. If it's trapped longs, then it's gonna be a bull emoji. And Grok put it the wrong way. but I don't want to argue with him. Isn't this just so incredible? The precision. Beautiful. So this is 9:59:40. First strike. 1 minute. 5 second. Dope. Okay. So yeah, let's save that. Let's look at something else now. What to look at? I never finished marking out that outside bar. So there's a 1 minute outside bar here as well. So if you miss the 30-second one, the 1 minute one is beautiful. Whoops. Oh no, my phone's gonna die. No! My phone died. No. Dang it. Dang it. Look at the outside bar here too. Right here. That's beautiful. Price action was so clean on this day. Oh yeah, let's look at this one as well. Perfect algorithmic delivery. Yeah, you know what I'm also realizing is this concept of projecting things out in better ways based off of a better place to put your entry and stop loss is valid for all kinds of different things. So, for instance, like here's the outside bar. The regular way you would take an outside bar like this is simply on the close or on the retest, right? But let's actually suggest or say that let's actually enter on the order block, the open. So now we just shaved off a little bit of points. And then let's shave our stop loss to here. Wow, I just turned a what? I just turned a trade that this is only 3R right here, but then if you take it like this, and then you take it like this, I just turned a 3R trade into a 5R trade just by fine-tuning the projections on the way you do things. Isn't that crazy? And the market's rewarding this. The market's rewarding marking things out and projecting things out correctly. Incredible. So, I'm just saying. Pretty cool. But like the market rewards the marking things out from a perspective of a better entry and a better stop loss according to the trade. And the projections reflect that. It is crazy because it's true. So then you have 7 projections right there. Bang. It's that accuracy for me. Yeah. I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. I mean, look at the just also look at the secondary retest right there. Isn't that cool? The secondary retest, they don't get any. They can barely get enough orders filled at that level. At the secondary retest spot, they can't even get all their orders filled at that level. Well, we actually don't even hit it. Wow, I didn't even realize that. Now, obviously, in real life, I might give myself a little bit more wiggle room, but this is just to show the accuracy. It's to show the accuracy. Isn't that incredible? Yeah, I think there is an IOFD somewhere here. I don't know where. Boom. Let's just real quick. Let's see if there were more trapped people here. I actually don't think there really was this time, which is fine. But yeah, just going to show the outside bar is beautiful. The precision, and then think about all the people that just give up with trading, and they never figure this out. They never realize how precise these markets truly are. They gave up. They gave up. So 10:04. Yeah, we're looking at 10:04 entry on that retest of the open of the order block. What is this, the 1 minute? $10:04 outside bar on the 1 minute. Once again, I also like this one. I don't know if I'm going to mark that out, though. I kind of want to skip the Friday. I mean, we could keep looking at this price action if we want. I mean, there is more, but... yeah, this is why I gotta get on the charts earlier. There was even a short opportunity. And I was trying to get shorts here. I'm not gonna... like, I did want shorts. And there was a short opportunity. We're above all the true opens. And what happens is we have an unmitigated gap, completely unmitigated. What does that mean? That means that it hasn't even been used. It hasn't been used one time. This has not been used at all. What does that mean? It's not likely we're going to get through it on the first go. It's just not, right? You could mark it out like that. I guess that is a fine way to mark it out because obviously we fill it perfectly. But you could also mark it out up to that volume balance too. So that volume balance might be more better, precise way to mark it. Yeah, up to you, I guess, if you want to mark it out going up to this high. So this is an unmitigated gap, but like I said, you could also you could also mark this out as this, which I would consider this an unmitigated implied gap, or actually an unmitigated implied BPR. That's what I would consider this, because it's got both a volume balance on the buy side and then a fair value gap on the sell side. So I would consider it a BPR, but that's just me. Other people would obviously disagree, and I really don't care. But yeah, I would measure it out like this, up to the volume balance. That's just the way I would do it. And then when you include this volume balance in the gap, so here is the volume balance high. Okay. Yeah, the thing is it's not an ICT implied CIBI. The ICT version of a implied gap is not the same as the one that from my back testing, but the ICT one is still really good. It's just the way that I imply them is a little different, but nothing against the way that ICT does it. It works as well. They're both valid ways to imply gaps. So anyway, I use ICT's version sometimes. So you have this 5-minute unmitigated implied BPR. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see the precision in these markets? And I assume you can kind of see where I'm getting at with this trade, right? I assume you can kind of see what I'm getting at. We have this is a volume balance at the high, a 5-minute unmitigated implied BPR. So why is it super strong? Because it's unmitigated. We haven't used it once. It's not been used one time. So we know that it's very unlikely we're just going to get through it on the first go. Okay. 5-minute unmitigated implied BPR. Volume balance at the high. We efficiently deliver it, meaning we go up to the top of that volume balance. So efficient delivery right there. Boom. Right? You see that? Efficient delivery. Efficient delivery. Boom. We could even check to see if there's a trapped long. And I actually believe that there is. Looks like there is. Not even just that, but we do have a lot of trapped buyers in general. So there's a trapped whale and trapped buyers within this candle. So, okay. So let's mark out both of those dudes. Okay. We got the trapped. Here, I'll show you. We got the trapped. Now, I would like to see who this is. 31. Okay, so this, yeah, this guy, this 54 buyer is trapped. So this 54 buyer is a whale that got sucked in, okay? That's a trapped whale. Then also, but it's both of these together, right? It's also the 137 more buyers than sellers within this candle as well. So those two confluences together tell me there's trapped longs and a trapped whale. So there's both. Okay, trapped whale of 54 cons, trapped longs of 137 more market buys and sells. So all that combined with our ICT logic of the ICT precision. So we are combining order flow and ICT. Boom, right up to there. We have a, once again, 54 whale. That's trapped. What up, philosophy of traders? How are you, bro? 54 whale that's trapped. And just in general, bulls that are trapped here. Of 137. We gotta, this is the first time I'm using this emoji, so we gotta go get it. We gotta go find it. It's in here. It's deep in here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? Is that the emoji? Which one? I think that's the one. Is that a bowl? Or is this a bowl? Which emoji looks more like a bowl? What do you guys think? Which emoji? The black one or the brown one? Which bowl emoji looks more like a bowl? Or the cow? Just kidding. Nah, I think this is a bowl. I was going through the institutions. What's that? Research paper. Okay. Yeah, I would use maybe that emoji. That looks more like a bowl. Is this a bowl? This is the emoji I got from... Uh-oh. What did I just do? The brown? Okay, we'll do the brown. I agree. I feel like I don't like either of them. I like this one, the one that I got from ChatGPT. But I can't really... I don't know. I'm just going to use the black. I can't even see the black guy. Oh, black guy. I meant I can't see the... Why did I say that? We're just gonna use the brown one. We're gonna use the brown one. What's up with the research paper philosophy? What is that? So yeah, so 137 trapped bowls. Technically I should be making these green because that means that they're buying, right? So that was a mistake. Okay, so this guy is trapped as well. Okay, boom. Trapped whale 54 cons. Trapped longs of 137 cons. Perfect. Okay. We get change in state. Hopefully you guys saw this coming, right? Hopefully you guys saw the trade like 5 minutes ago before I even marked this out, right? I found that the high frequency trading algorithms, they are trained on the basis of mean deviation and mean reversion. Do you know that? Trained on the basis of mean deviation and mean reversion. I mean, bro, what? How? Yeah. I mean, there is an element to that. There's an element to rebalancing to equilibrium. I mean, at the end of the day, it's hunting stops. I mean, it's hunting liquidations. That's what it's doing. So, I mean, there is an element to mean reversion within that for sure. For sure. But it is kind of a little more complicated than that, I would say. Really, it's a lot of trapped people understanding imbalances, framing models, identifying high probability signatures you can execute on. There's a lot to it, I would say. But, I mean, So once again, this is another situation where we get to experiment here. We can experiment and say what's the best way to project out this trade? This is a really good trade. What's the best way to project it out? Okay. First, most obvious way is just project out the order block, which obviously is fine, and we go 5 projections down, and that's all great. That's just great. One thing I don't like about projecting out this way is you really you're not going to be able to enter within this candle. There's no possible way to enter on that close. The closest entry is going to be on the open of the next candle, because once this candle closes, you're going to be entering within here. So your entry is really down here, which 4 projections still works really nicely. So there's nothing wrong with that. 2 projections works really nicely. Once again, completely valid. I almost wonder though, is it better to mark it out from the volume imbalance? So from the entry where the most realistic entry you could get is to this high. Maybe. But it's not really needed, it looks like. And then what happens if I measure it out like this? 7 projections is perfect. Okay. So this could be the most accurate way. I mean, entry would be on the retest of the close. But I don't know. The 2 projections used perfectly, 4 projections used, and then 7 projections used. Honestly, this seems like the most accurate way to mark this out, right? There's no drawdown if you enter on the retest of the close. So that's got to be the most accurate way to take that. When the price reaches extreme deviations, it returns to the mean where most transactions are done. 100%. 100%. Point of control. That's, I mean, it's reversing to mean reversion of transactions within the market is kind of what you're saying, because it's a mean reversion of making sure the most amount of people are liquidated. That's what is meant in my, at least how I would. The wording of it matters, but you're right. You're 100% right. But I do think the wording of it, you got to make sure it's like perfect. But yes, I would say that's right. So yeah. I mean, if you do an entry like that, that's kind of cool, right? Consequent encroachment, mean threshold, and POC the same. See, yeah, they're different names for basically the same thing, but just on different things. So consequent encroachment is on a gap, and mean threshold's on a order block, and POC is the point of most transactions within a range. So they're similar. So once again, you can enter on the retest of that, or maybe the best way for you is to enter on the retest of this, or just who cares? It's 1 point difference, right? Who cares? Maybe you just enter on the close. That's realistic. That's what I would do. But what I'm saying is, once again, this comes back to the idea of if the trade is taken in the best possible way, the projections are going to line up in the best possible way. And this is so fascinating, and backtest this and you'll see this. But once again, if I project this out the best possible way, from this high to the change in state, close, retest, I assume that's the best way. 7 projections and 4 projections and 2 projections all are perfect. They're all perfect. So that's what I'm trying to get at. That is really, really beautiful. So there's that short trade. And, I mean, what do you know about the true opens? We're above 730. We're above 922.30. We manipulated our low time frame true open. I could mark that out, but I don't really know if I care to. Do I? Should I? What's the low time frame true open? Let's just go look. Oh, I was gonna release the new indicator tonight. Oh man, I should do that. I should probably do that right now. I know, isn't that incredible? Pretty cool, huh? So let's go ahead and let's mark this trade out. Perfect. It's perfect. The markets are perfect, guys. The markets are perfect. You cannot blame the market. You can't. You can't because they're perfect. It's perfect. If you're wrong, it's because you were wrong. I'm sorry. It just is. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised. I'm almost certain that there's gonna be a GB range within this, and let's go look. I am almost certain. We might need to shift it by 0.25, but this should fit inside a dealing range. We're probably going to need to shift it by 0.25. Oh, it is interesting. It actually used the fair value gap of this. I guess it was more like a continuation off of whatever this was, a sell model over here. Okay, let's just look and see what happens if I shift it 0.25. Yeah, you get a liquidity sweep into the high of the dealing range. Yeah. And let's add the extensions. So if you add the extensions, you can clear. It's an interesting situation because we don't go to the low of the dealing range, which isn't super common. But look at this. Check this out. Oh, we deleted a message. So if I mark out the what's it called? Where is it? Where's the button for it? Where's the extension? Show, where's the extension? I can't find it. Where is it? No. That's not it. That's not it. High extension levels. We don't want that. Okay. So, take notes, right? So sometimes you got to shift dealing ranges by 0.25. It doesn't matter. You can shift it by 0.25. You can shift it by 0.5. It's all just a blueprint for the AMD. It's a blueprint. That's all GoBuck is, okay? So look, dealing range high, sweep liquidity into the extension, displacement lower, break this low. Oh, what's that? Fair value gap. 30-second fair value gap. What is this? What is this? This is the fair value gap partition, okay? Fair value gap, bearish fair value gap partition, okay? Right? Bearish fair value gap partition, 30-second 2022 model here. Boom! Acceleration lower. Now, why don't we go to the dealing range low? Probably because what matters more is true opens and SMT, and we had SMT with this low, so that's why. Once again, GoBuck is literally just advanced precision stuff. It's not. You're gonna use it as a confluence, not a be all end all. It's a confluence. Okay. There you go. So you have your 2022 gap there as well. Did I ever finish marking this out? I don't even know if I saved this. We'll mark out the 2022 model next. So this is what I refer to as flow state, where you take a higher time frame key level, in this case 5-minute unused fair value gap, unused BPR, whatever you want to call it. It's a 5-minute unused gap, aligning it with a 30-second change in state of delivery. So we align a higher time frame key level with a change in state of delivery on the aligned time frame. So that's flow state. So flow state. What time was it at? 9:41:30. Okay. Flow state. 5-minute gap aligned with a 30-second change in state of delivery. And bang, there you go. Delivery lower. And then we can also, you know what's cool? Let's go back to GB, GoBuck. I just want to point this out. Okay. What's this? An order block. And what's this? Okay. Come over here. What's this? Oh my gosh. Let me get over there. Order block partition. Right? You see that? So it's a helpful tool. It's not a be all end all, okay? So if I see that, I see order block, which is also the same thing as change state delivery. Within the order block partition, we already have our people that are trapped, okay? Boom, order block partition into the liquidity sweep partition. Bang, that's exactly what we want to see. So boom, delivery lower. So this is what I call an eclipse, okay? Eclipse is when something aligns with GoBuck. It's just the nickname I gave it because think about it. It's like, what's an eclipse? It is literally when something perfectly aligns with something, like the moon perfectly overlapping the sun and blocking it out. That's an eclipse. So I nicknamed any time that you have alignment of like a GoBuck level with your trade, I call it an eclipse. Okay, so bang. So this is an 81 eclipse. Okay. into that rejection block partition. Yeah, it basically it didn't exactly use the rejection block partition this time. It more or less used the liquidity sweep partition. We swept liquidity into the external range liquidity sweep area, and then we went lower off of it. So, same thing, right? This is 941.30 flow state eclipse 5-minute 30-second with the 81. Okay. So then you can do the same logic with the fair value gap, okay? So the fair value gap forms right here. This is really, really fascinating, by the way, because this is the first presented fair value gap. ERL to IRL, exact, or you mean IRL to ERL? Well, I guess. Yeah, usually it's IRL to ERL, but anyway. This is really fascinating, okay? First presented fair value gap. Is also in the fair value gap partition. We just talked about this. And my guess is, so this is also a 2022 model. So it's all three. It's all of the above. We got a liquidity sweep displacement lower. And I know you don't think it's a break structure. I don't care. What matters to me isn't that it's official breaker structure. It's that it has this algorithmic sweep and then delivery lower, okay? And then a fair value gap forms. That's what matters to me, okay? And ICT specifically says that as well. So first presented fair value gap inside the 2022, inside the gold block partition, exactly where it should form. Now, okay, you could look for first strike here. I'm gonna be so honest. You could look for first strike within here, and you probably got some insane accuracy. Okay. Let's go pull up the GB range again. Right. So we got an eclipse with the fair value gap partition. Okay. We got an eclipse. The moon blocks the sun. The fair value gap partition is same exact spot as the fair value gap. That is interesting. That is interesting. That's a little interesting, huh? 81 eclipse, right? Boom, into the first center fair value gap. Let's go down. Let's go down time frames. Or first, let's actually just mark this out as a 2022 model. Okay, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Dude, I feel like we just keep getting better and better at trading. Like it's getting crazy. Like it's a matter of time before we just start absolutely just blowing people's minds, I would say. It's just a matter of time. Okay, so it's a 2022 model. I would consider this kind of like your break. I know it's not an official break. I don't care. I don't care. I don't pattern trade. Right? On the 32nd, it is almost certainly a break. Okay? I don't pattern trade. I trade understanding of the concepts. Okay? So, bang. Bang. Run that back to 730. There's your 2022 model. Alright. But the fun thing, the fun trade is really aligning the time frames even lower than that. The fun trade comes from. Here, let's just mark this out real quick. 9:42:30. Yeah, 9:42:30 on the 32nd. Looks like. Oh, well, we gotta redo this. Wait a second. This is the 32nd. That's not. That's not a 1 minute gap. What do I do about that? I don't care. It's the first presented for VAG up on the 32nd. So let's just call it the 32nd 2022 model then, okay? Let's ignore the fact that it's first presented for VAG app. And I have to use the bathroom. Where is it? Okay. Bang. Re-screenshot. There you go. Bang. 9:42:30. Oh, I keep forgetting. I need to release the Ghost in the Machine indicator. Okay, let me do that real quick before I forget. Let me do this. I gotta release this. So I actually have to go in and make this public. So this is the new one. This is the most recent version. So I need to go and post this. So where's the prior version? So same exact description and stuff. Before I forget. So this is version 3 of the indicator, which now includes true year open, true 3-month open, more precise. So that's not. There we go. Alright. Uh-oh. That's not what I... That's not the... That's not the image I want to use. That's not the image I want to use. Uh... You know what? I don't really care. So, it's fine. I don't really care. Let's share this. I don't care that the image is not what it's supposed to be. It's fine. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and post this link for members only because I needed to remember to do that. So yeah, I'm glad I'm remembering. Oh wow, there's 5 people watching. That's a lot. Yeah, so I'm gonna post this. What strategy are we backtesting? Someone explained to him these markets move to hunt liquidity. This ain't one strategy. But yeah, if I had to say one thing, I'd say manipulation, expansion. Accumulation, manipulation, expansion, entry to get on side with it. Okay? But yeah, these markets hunt liquidity. It's not, there's no one strategy. Okay? It's manipulation, expansion. You can enter on change in state of delivery. You can enter on an inversion for value gap. You can enter on an outside bar. You can enter on a pin bar. You can enter on regular 2022 model for value gap. You can enter on rejection block. But the key is aligning timeframes and understanding the manipulation and expansion in the market. Okay. But I will add hyper right now. Bang. So, yeah, we're going to allow access to anyone who's already used it, already filled out the form before. It'd be interesting to see. No, no one else filled out the form since however long ago. So. All right, I just added Hyper. So Hyper's the only one who's filled out this form. So. All right. Glad I remembered to do that. So. Okay. I might take a break now for a bit. Might take a break. Beautiful, beautiful. I bet you we probably also souped the Pico Open as well. Oh, where's the form? It's um, it comes with access to anyone who's a member of the who's joined as a channel member. So if you want access, you can do that. But yeah, it comes as access with the channel membership. No, it's with access. It comes with the channel membership if you get it. So, but I have a ton of free stuff. Like I have my end dog indicator is free, and I have the other thing that's free, and I don't know. So, but yeah, and I also just help everyone for free and make videos for free. It's just extra stuff in case anyone wants it. It's not like, it's just extra stuff. So I put it in a post, members only post. So okay, I'm gonna take a little break for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a little break. But I will be back, and I'll keep backtesting more later. Probably in like 5 or 10 minutes, I'll come back. So I'll just leave this here. Okay, just give me like 5 more minutes. I'm just gonna. I don't know. I just want to chill for a little bit, and then I'll get back to back testing. All right. Let's keep back testing. So the next thing I want to look at is the first presented for value gap. right? We're gonna get away from Thursday in just a second, but I want to finish by discussing the first presented for value gap here. And obviously we IOFED it, right? But along with this IOFED, we can go in looking for a 5 or a 15-second change in state. And I could align that with gold block, but I don't really care to. I'm just gonna be looking at this first presented for value gap here, and yes, I would consider this even a 2022 model on the 1 minute. But what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to go in on the lower time frame. And I'm going to look for that lower time frame change instead of delivery or inversion or something, okay? And we could even look to see if there's a whale that got caught. I don't think there was, though. If anything, there's going to be just a lot of buyers. Yeah, not really. Okay. Yeah, so here it is. Okay. You have the first line for value gap. You have this internal sweep of this high. So we're going to be reading the market a little differently here. We're going to be reading it like this. Okay. First presented for value gap. This low right here. This is an IOFED, an institutional order flow entry drill, okay? The very bottom of that gap is used and delivers price lower. So there you go, there's your IOFED entry. I need to make a new template for this. What up, Nigerian? How's it going, man? We are just backtesting. So there's your IOFED into that first presented for value gap. Now, what's first strike? Where's your first strike entry? Well, you go in here. There's there's about two different ones, okay? There's, first of all, considering this highest up close candle, considering that as your change in state. So there's one possibility for first strike. Interestingly, I do think we use the midpoint of this. Let's see. What's up with that template? That's an ugly template. What template do I usually use for a change in state? I don't even know what template I normally use. I don't even know. Not any of that. I'll figure it out later. Okay. Like I was saying, it's around the midpoint of this we use it. Hang on, I'm trying to save a song right now. Hold on. Okay. And you can see we're above the true opens as well. You could even find the Pico open, right? This is where things get real fun. Let's drop down to a Pico time frame. Find that Pico open. What is it? It's gonna be 940. Okay, so that was actually used as the rejection block entry. So the rejection block entry right there soups above the true open on the Pico time frame. But that's not what I'm looking at right now, so I don't really care. What I'm looking at right now is first strike, which is change in state of delivery off of the first center for value gap. Look at that. Look at OTE. Look at the precision in these markets. Undeniable, guys. Undeniable. Now tell me, you still want to give up in trading? Or does this get you fired up? Does it get you fired up to know how precise these markets are and to know everyone's lying to you, okay? They're all lying to you. So you have the sniper model. I call this the sniper model, where you have OTE of a change in state of delivery that gets used. See how everything kind of just compounds on itself? It's so fascinating. You can see how 4 projections is perfectly hit, right? Beautiful. So sick. So this is all I wanted to get at, is the first strike here, and that's really all. That's all. I just wanted to talk about first strike. Isn't that beautiful? Now, the power of this really comes when you can build code to execute all this for you. That's the kicker, right? That's where things get fun. Then you're on the beach and your AI bot took this trade for you. That's where things get real fun. Bro, the chart shows 15-minute delayed data. What do I do? So basically, the data is delayed unless you pay for it. It just is. That's just the way the CME does it. I don't know why, but if you want access to the live data for NQ futures and for ES futures and all the futures contracts, you have to buy them, and I think it's only like $4 a month. I could be wrong, but I think it's only like $4, and basically just go into TradingView and if you want it, you could buy it for $4. But in the meantime, if you don't want to do that, you can use CFDs and chart on CFDs. You just won't have the volume balances and the liquidity voids between gaps and that kind of stuff, which is just makes it less accurate. And so I would say if you're serious about trading, it's probably worth it to buy the data because it's a long term investment and you're you're gonna need to have the data in order to trade at some point. But yeah, it's 12 a month. Oh shoot, yeah, that's a lot. Well, like I said, like at some point, like you can just chart on you can chart on NQ on delayed data, and you can just live trade on the CFD version. Just type in on here. You could type in NAS 100, and then you can just chart on CFDs, and that's gonna be pretty close to the real live NQ feed. It's like I said, it's not gonna really have volume balances, and the price levels aren't gonna be the same. But if you want to do it like that, you can, or you could just make an investment in the data. It's just obviously costs money, but did I save this? Okay. So this is first strike. You got your IOFED and then delivery lower. So first I'm going to screenshot this. And then I'm going to go over sniper model. Which is basically, I don't talk about sniper model a whole lot. But basically, any trade like this where you have a higher time frame key level and then an aligned time frame change instead of delivery, yeah, it kind of sucks, Lord. I'm sorry, but that's just the way the CME does it. I can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. First, let me save this real quick. So we retest here, 944.05. I guess technically we retest here if you wanted to take that one. But I would just take this, 944.05. One minute, 5 second. Okay, so sniper model. I don't talk about it a lot, but it is one of the most precise things out there. So basically, what will happen is you'll have a higher time frame key level, and I know you're gonna laugh at me. It's like higher time frame is a 1 minute key level. Okay, it's all fractal. I can still use 1 minute key levels and 5 second change in states. It's all fractal. Okay. It's like this could be a 4 hour gap and a 15 minute change in state. It doesn't the concept is still the same. It's like 1 + 1 equaling 2 and 100 + 100 equaling 200. The concept is still the same, okay? So just ignore the fact that it's a 1 minute gap and a 5 second change in state because the concept's the same, okay? So you take the change in state of delivery, which is the order block, the highest up close candle. Now you could use the series, that's totally fine, but in this case, just use the highest up close candle and find the OTE. If you don't know what OTE is, it's a fib level. It's a 0.62 and 0.79, and then what's called the sweet spot is the 0.705. This is a ICT concept, and so basically, that level is going to be very sensitive, and the reason this is powerful is because you already have this model framed. So you know that this is a trade. So what you can do is if you enter at OTE, you're getting in the same trade that this guy got in, but you're getting in with 1/3 of the stop loss, so 3 times the profit as the guy that got in on this entry. So that's the power of sniper model. And you can see there'll be a lot of times where we'll hit OT perfectly like this, and it will deliver. So this is the case for all the time frames, okay? That's not the template I want. So yeah. And over time, I'm just deleting the bad templates. So I do not use the second OTE, so I'm going to delete that. I don't use this. I have so many templates. I know. I'm working on getting rid of them. It's a process. We're going to delete this guy. I'm also going to delete this other one, because I don't use this one either. Because ICT OTE is just OTE, so I don't know why I made that. There's OTE of an order block. There's OTE of a displacement leg. But they're still both OTE, so it doesn't really matter if whatever I call it, I can call it what I want. It's still OTE. I know that didn't make sense. It doesn't matter. You get the point. OTE is OTE, so I don't need a different template I don't need a different template is what I'm trying to say. Yep, that looks right. 9:44:15. 9:44:15 sniper model, 1 minute. So the first center value gap aligned with a 5-second change in state, but entry at OTE, which is what the sniper model is. Okay, I said that we were gonna move away from Thursday, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go over to Friday. I kind of want to look at Friday. Do you trade Forex, bro? Forex is Forex. I don't trade it really, but I find it interesting. I like studying it. Okay, I'm just kidding. We're actually not gonna go over to Friday yet because we gotta take a look at this. What the? Man. Isn't this just so powerful? Okay, I just want to point this out. I just want to point this out. So this is what I call Khufu stack. This is so powerful. Where basically, when you're on side with the market, you need to take advantage of that as much as you can, while also going break even on the prior entry and then continuing. So for instance, okay, we had this 90-minute SMT with this low, okay? And then what we started seeing, we're going to go to Friday right after this. But what we started seeing after we got this 90-minute SMT is So once again, 90-minute SMT is higher probability. We want to see if it's a 90-minute SMT, that means it's aligned with quarterly theory, okay? So 90-minute SMT, bang. You have our Khufu Stack Classic. This is that initial video I made on Khufu Stack where you go rejection block to the fair value gap to the breaker and fair value gap and then expansion, okay? But that's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at, there's Khufu Stack Classic, which is what that is, but then there's also just like regular Khufu Stack, which is just pyramiding. So pyramiding is basically, here's an outside bar, okay? I'm probably not making any sense right now, and I understand that, but that's, I need to make videos to explain everything because I can't explain everything in this one live stream. I gotta make videos to explain everything. But basically, I'll explain it in simple terms. Okay, this is pyramiding. Is basically Khufu Stack is basically just pyramiding on an entry that you already had. So you enter, then you go break even. Nah, I completely understand. Okay, Slimy gets it apparently. So there's the original version of the pyramiding, which I discovered as rejection block to fair value gap to breaker, okay? And this is, I call this the classical version, okay? I call this the classical version. Are you a comp sci student? No. Okay. So this is the traditional version I discovered, okay? We have a rejection block, hit that, fair value gap, hit that, breaker, hit that. That's the traditional version. But in reality, pyramiding, you can do pyramiding with any kind of entry. So if I have an outside bar, I can take the outside bar. Yeah, I can take the outside bar, go break even on that outside bar. And once I start getting, the market starts rewarding my entry. So check this out, okay? Once the market starts rewarding my entry, this is the time to pyramid, because when you're right, you're gonna be right. Like, the market rewards the correctness of your entry. So you enter here on this outside bar, bang, okay? Delivery higher. But then what happens here? Wow, another outside bar? Whew. Now we're cooking, okay? So here's a pyramid entry on this outside bar, okay? So you're already break even on this trade. Now you're in on this. So this, if you have an entry and then another entry, I call this the DeJoser stack, okay? If it's an entry and then two more entries, I call it the Khufu stack. If it's an entry and then three more entries, I nicknamed it the Machu Picchu stack, okay? They're just different nicknames I gave. So you have something like this where outside bar here, and then remember this one? This was that first presented for value gap change in state, okay? So first presented for value gap was from here to here. We talked about this. And this gets backfilled and then used again right here, okay? So this could be your final entry. So you would have entry 1, and then as you go break even on that last entry, you can get your next entry, all using 1 unit of risk, okay? That's the beauty of it. You only have to risk 1 unit of risk, but now you get in on a second trade with the same unit of risk. So you have an 8R plus a 4R plus another 4R. So with using 1 unit of risk, you now get like 16R. Do you guys see the power of this? Right? Now, easier said than done. I've done it before many times. But, like I said, easier said than done. It's like, it takes practice. This is a craft. This is a craft, okay? It's not gonna just be easy. It's not easy. But this is what happens when the market's on a low resistant liquidity run. Is the market's gonna deliver. So, like I said, I might not have made any sense. I really don't care. It's those who get it, and those who don't. But the beauty of it, the reason it's so powerful, is you're in all these trades with only 1 unit of risk. With only one. I only risk 1R. I go break even, and then I'm in this one. I'm in break even. I'm in this one. I'm in break even, and then all of a sudden I'm up 3.5, 4.24, 8.29, only risking the same amount of risk. 1R. That's Khufu stack. Okay, that's the power of that. Okay. That's all I wanted to show. So imagine a day like this. Imagine this. You've had 15 losing days in a row, okay? Then on the 16th day, you come to the market with precision, with insane accuracy. Like, you're able to execute as you know you're supposed to. You catch the outside bar, catch the next one. You've lost 15 days in a row, but this is 16R. So you're in profit after 15 days of losing. That is the power of trading, is risk management and understanding how this works. I don't really know how futures, but I've seen people trade futures on the 1 minute below, and why is that? It's not just futures, bro. Here's the thing. There's gonna be, most people are it's not just futures, okay? Most people don't understand that the lower time frames are this precise. They don't understand it. It's not just futures. It's all assets, right? But in all honesty, it's actually a very small minority. I think it's just me, honestly. I think I'm one of the only few people that really look at low time frame charts like this. So, like, I don't know. I'm just different. I'm a little different than everyone else, and that's fine with me. So I'm just going to say this was the 950 macro Khufu stack. Thanks, Slimy. Appreciate it. We will take a look at Friday. We will. Yeah, I mean, it's just aligning time and price, and it's like a microscope, right? If you have the right, if you're looking at the right area on a microscope, you're gonna be able to see what you're trying to look at, and if anything, you're gonna get more precision. But the reality is, if you go blindly, use a microscope blindly, and you don't know how to use the microscope, you just go in, you don't actually zoom in on where you're supposed to, you're not gonna see crap. That's the reality of these microscopic time frames. Exactly. So it's not that they're not real. They're real. They are. Undeniably so. They're real. But most people don't understand how to point that microscope in the right spot correctly. I'm obviously I don't even do it right most of the time, but I'm doing it because I want to get better. I want to get more precise. I want to get more accurate. So, anyway, this was also a Venom model, by the way. But anyway, I want to just move on. I want to go to Friday. I might actually take another quick break. Yo, what up, Jerry? How are you, man? Good to see you. Solid back testing session here. So, yeah, I'll take another break in like 10 minutes. Set a timer for 10 minutes. And yes, it's literally it's 12:20 a.m. I know. I don't really care. I'm enjoying back testing right now. So, here, yeah, you see precision? Exactly. You can't deny it, right? It's undeniable, right? So, okay. You guys know what this is? Hopefully you guys, if you've watched my videos enough, you know what you're looking at here, okay? If you've watched my videos enough, hopefully you know what this is. What is this? First of all, this is an outside bar, right? You have a candle which takes the prior candles high and low. Not only that, but it's the prior 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Prior 23 candles, okay? So, this is a higher probability outside bar. I don't know, man. Just chilling. What about you? I'm just chilling as well, man. I'm just chilling as well. Exactly right, Slimy. Exactly right. It's an outside bar. So, when an outside bar, obviously an outside bar is nice when it takes the prior candles high and low, but when it takes many prior candles highs and lows, it's even better. Why? Because, well, think about it. This is A, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, okay? Hopefully that's common sense, right? But if it takes 23 prior candles, this is a very strong outside bar. But it's not just an outside bar. It's an outside bar when? Right as the market opens. What do I always say? If there's an outside bar going into market open or news, it's going to deliver price a lot of the time exactly as it should because it's market open or news. It's the excuse to deliver price to opposing liquidity. It's the excuse. It's like, oh man, market open, stop me out. When in reality, we're able to see that this is an outside bar and that we're going to be targeting opposing liquidity pools to the upside as the market's opening. Okay. Right? You see the outside bar? You see even as well the retest of the outside bar? So you can enter on the retest. We can project out that retest from here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projections perfectly hit. 7, 8, 9, 10. How many projections do we go? Imagine if you just bought in on that outside bar and on the Cantina kill shot. Once again, what's Cantina kill shot? It's outside bar at market open or on news. Right? Okay. So, boom, boom, boom. There you go. Delivery at 4 projections up to the opposing liquidity pool. And then we continue and continue and continue and continue. And imagine if you just held the whole day. Well, that would be quite a trade. That would be quite a trade. How many R would that be? This is the power of what I say when I say take profit with stop loss, right? If you just held the entire day. I'm just saying. Like, that's 30R, right? That's incredible. But anyway, obviously, we're just going to be realistic. Probably just target 4 projections here. Or the opposing liquidity. Okay. There you go. So, when do I target 6 projections or these odd projections, like 6 projections and 3 projections? When would I target those and not what I usually do, which is like 4 projections or 7 projections? When would I do 6 or 3? When it aligns with liquidity. That's when, right? So if I see that we have liquidity pool here, it's old high, buy side liquidity, it doesn't make sense to target 7 projections here, really, because this is where the buy stops are. So why would I target all the way up at 7 projections when buy stops are right here? I'm going to be targeting 6 projections because that's where the liquidity pool is, right? 6 projections. There you go. That's when. So for instance, same thing with 3 projections. If I see that we have a liquidity pool aligned with 3 projections and 4 projections is kind of way past that liquidity pool, then I'm not going to target 4 projections on that trade. I'm going to target 3 projections because these markets hunt liquidity, not standard deviation projections, right? Projections are a tool. They're not. That's not how the market works, though, right? So why did my template not save? That's weird. So there's Cantina kill shot. I'm going to take a break. Yeah, in 2 minutes I'm taking a break. 9:31 Cantina kill shot. You could also enter on that close at 9:30. Either way. 9:31. What? Yeah, 9:31.00. think. Now, yeah, I'll just call it 931.00. It's fine. Wait. The beauty of this is it wasn't just on the 1 minute. It wasn't. It was on the 15-second. It was on the 5-second. I'll show you. And I saw this. I saw it live, actually. But it was just, I got on the charts late on this day, actually. So. So yeah, do you see the 15-second one? Same exact thing. This one, interesting. Okay, I would consider, so it's an outside bar, but you could take the entry on that close, or kind of just wait for a retest there. I guess you could take it on the. Whoa! I was not expecting my timer to go off. Yeah, let's just finish this up here. So. And then I'm gonna take another break. Okay, so there's a 15-second outside bar. Same thing. Same exact trade. Market open, outside bar. Then, once again, he could do it like this, but sometimes you need to be safe and make it out like this. Okay, I'm taking another break. So there's, yeah, 9:30:15 essentially is right when that closes. Now, obviously, not all of these are going to work. There's one on the 5-second that goes to the downside that doesn't work. But to be fair, I think you just had to also know that it was higher time frame was probably bullish here. So that's why bias can help. Yeah. 9:30:15, continue kill shot on the 15-second. Okay. Taking another break. You know, I actually might just end the stream. Yeah, if I want to keep going, I'll probably just restart it later. So.